Hey guys, really long time no talk. I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's literally been forever since I made a video. I think my last video was like my gender reveal. So if you guys saw that, then yes, I do have a beautiful baby boy. He actually just turned 1 like at the end of August. So it's crazy, y'all. I have a 1-year-old. So as you can imagine, life has been absolutely crazy. A huge adjustment over the last year, which is why I have not been here on YouTube. He finally started daycare. So I'm starting to get, some of my time back where I can make new videos and kind of connect again with you guys. So I'm really excited to be back. This video today is about my exclusive pumping journey. I did breastfeed my son literally up until he turned 1. I just stopped at the beginning of September. And I am a first generation breastfeeding mom. So this was something that I took on. I really knew from the beginning that I really wanted to breastfeed. I loved just the benefits that the child gets from it. And I knew it was going to be a challenge because, like I said, I didn't know anybody who had breastfed, but I was up for it and I really wanted to stick to it. So when Lennox was born, he did latch on for a little bit. And he did well like the first day, but after that we started having some latching issues. I did have to do a procedure at the hospital with the lactation consultant called SNS, where they put him on they put him on my boob to feed. However, they had like a little tube that fed him donor's milk so that he could get used to latching and sucking. However, he was still being fed, and he was being fed donor's milk because I wasn't really making a lot. I did have to have a C-section, so I do believe that kind of delayed my milk coming in. I did have a little bit of colostrum, but I really wasn't seeing any consistent milk supply until like day 4 or 5 when I was home. Like I said, about day 4 or 5, my milk did start coming in because my lactation consultant did tell me, every time he feeds, start pumping. So that's what I started to do. So pretty much every hour and a half, 2 hours, I just started pumping. I wasn't really getting much at first, a little bit of colostrum, but whatever I was getting, of course, I was feeding to Lennox in addition to the donor's milk, because they only sent us home with donor's milk for a few days supply of donor's milk. So I didn't really have much. So I had to make sure that I was pumping consistently to make sure that I was going to be, having some supply. I want to discuss what my essentials were for my exclusive pumping journey. So that was kind of the backstory on why or what led me to the pumping journey. I took to the internet kind of to get some background information. Wasn't really much, especially here on YouTube. However, I did find some really amazing Instagram pages and Facebook groups. So I'm going to tag those down in the description box below for you guys to follow because they were literally lifesavers. And I'm just going to share what I was using during my pumping journey. The breast pump that I picked through insurance is this Spectra. It's the S2. This pump was really good as far as power, maximizing my output, everything, no complaints whatsoever. The only thing is I used this pump for about 2 weeks and I just could not get behind having to be plugged into a wall at all times. I'm trying to take care of my baby. My husband had to go back to work. Of course, my mom and grandma and some people were in and out helping me. But at the same time, I can't be tied to the wall pumping when I'm trying to take care of a newborn. So this got me through, y'all. And I love the different I don't even have the plug, so I can't show it, but it has a night light on it. It has different settings and cycles, which you can kind of cater to what you need. I personally always had it on expression mode. A lot of people call it the bacon because it has 3 little strips. I always had it on bacon mode. That's where I got my best output. So highly recommend this Spectra S2. However, they do have an S1 model, but it's not always fully covered by insurance. Sometimes you may have to pay a little bit extra, but if you are willing, I would pay extra and get the S1 because it has a battery pack to it so that you don't have to stay plugged up to the wall and you can just take this with you. One thing that I did not know, and kind of after research and a lot of trial and error, I found out that your flange size really matters. So I think that my S2 came with the typical, I think 20, maybe 24 and 26 size flanges, which is the size of where you put your nipple in. And come to find out, like they have like these little nipple ruler kind of, so you can kind of see what flange size you need. So I ended up printing one off of some website. If I find it, I'll definitely link it below. And I was actually a size 19. So I had to order new flanges, and I ordered some off of Amazon, really, really cheap. And they're HSA eligible. So if you need to use your insurance to pay for them, definitely do that. And I ended up having to get size 19. So the 19 millimeters is the flange size that helped me the best. It's really important to know your flange size, because if you're using one that's too big, like I was, you're not maximizing your output. You're not getting as much out, and you may, you know, see a decrease in output because it's not pulling as hard as it should, which is telling your body like you don't need as much milk. So definitely make sure that you get the correct flange size for, you know, standard breast pumps. So like I said, I used my Spectra for about 2 weeks, plugged into the wall, and actually I forgot to grab one, but I think I have one on. Don't ask me why I still wear these, but I did a nursing bra hack. So I still wore nursing bras even though I wasn't always nursing. And excuse me, y'all, but as you can see, there is like a little clip here. And what you can do is unclip this. This is for a hands-free bra experience, like when you're pumping. Slide your flange in and then clip it, and that'll give you a whole, I love this nursing bra hack. This will give you a hands-free experience when you're pumping, so that you don't have to sit there and hold the flanges up while you are pumping. So if you have nursing bras, nursing tanks, any of that, use that hack so that you can do hands-free, because I did buy like hands-free nursing bras, but those kind of can add up, and I didn't like always wearing that like bandeau type bra. So once I found that hack, game changer. That's literally all I did when it came to pumping. At nighttime, if I didn't pump in time, I was leaking, like literally, and I did not know this was to be expected. So I was leaking through bed sheets multiple nights. Like, there's no sleeping with no bra for me, at least at night. Always had to have a bra and always had to have breast pads. And that's what I forgot to pick up to show you guys. But I'll insert like a little picture here. Breast pads were necessary at all times for me. I personally use the disposable ones. So I would just go pick up a pack from like 100 pack from Target for like $7.99. And I kept them in my bras at all times because I would leak throughout the day, especially at night. Definitely necessary if you're a leaker. I was a huge leaker, even with being on a consistent pumping schedule. So like I said, every 2 hours I was pumping 8 times a day. But I found these on Amazon, and they were a game changer for me. And they are these Lactic Ups. So what you do, you put them in your bra and they would catch your milk. And so that way it was catching all my milk, and I was able to save that milk and like put it into a bottle and feed it to Lennox. Of course, it was a lot of fore milk, wasn't really a lot of hind milk, but milk is milk when you're a breastfeeding mom. Every drop literally counts. So definitely check into these Lactic Ups. Again, I'm going to link everything below, but these were a game changer for me, especially at night when it came to leaking, because it caught all of the milk that I was leaking, and I was able to use that milk to feed my child. A manual pump. Literally picked this up from Walmart, maybe $15 or something. Anytime I was not near my pump or my other pumps weren't charged, manual pumps came to the rescue. Only thing about this is definitely, like I said, with the flanges, you got to have your right size. And because these only come in like literally a few different, I think it was only 2 different sizes, and neither one of those fit me. I had to get these, I think they're called Bugen cushions. I'm going to put a picture of it right here. They're like these silicone inserts that you can put in your flange to kind of like tighten it up. And that way, when you put it on, it's going to still pull. And it's, you can use these anytime like a flange is too big, or if you get the flange size that you can use, but you still have maybe a little bit of space that you can, that you need to get a really good pull, use those cushions, insert them into any flanges. They worked on any flange that I put them in, and they're going to give you that really nice and secure pull when you are pumping. And that's going to make your breastfeeding journey a whole lot better. But yes, manual pump works just as good as a regular one. I mean, it's a lot on your hand, but desperate times call for desperate measures, and this will definitely come in handy if you are away from your pump dies, anything like that, and you got to get that milk out, you're engorged, leaking. Trust me, manual pump. So like I said, I used my Spectra S2 for about 2 weeks or so before I was like, I can't do this plugged into wildlife. I need wireless pumps. I bit the bullet, and I had to drop the coins on these LV wireless pumps, and they made my life so much easier. Trust me, I would not have made it a year of exclusively pumping without these LVs. $500 price tag. Trust me, like when I was pregnant and I was talking to my friends about it, I was like, I ain't doing that. I'm just getting the one through insurance. Ain't nobody paying all that for no breast pumps. Ate my words so quick because these were literally everything. As far as the charge, I would get about 4 pumping sessions out of them. My pumping sessions range from about 20 to 40 minutes, depending on when throughout the day that I was pumping. And you literally just stick them in your bra. You definitely go up a couple cup sizes, but I was able to feed, I was able to change, I was able to do literally anything, drive while pumping, anything you could think of, I was still able to. I never really tried to like exercise. You want to be careful with bending and turning and twisting and all that because it can sometimes leak. And some people have issues with them. I was in a couple Facebook groups, and I'll link those below to kind of like learn different tips and tricks and hacks when it comes to these LVs. But they're literally so amazing. And like any other breast pump, the flange size does matter. I think there were 2 sizes that came with them. I want to say 24 and 26 flange size, but I ended up needing the 21 millimeter. So I had to order those separately on Amazon. But flange size definitely matters. And you can tell what flange size you have based off of this little symbol. Some of them have a circle, square, or a rectangle. So that's how you know what flange size you have. I really don't have a lot of complaints when it comes to the LV because it did what it needed to do. It gave what it was supposed to give. I will say sometimes I had issues with like the sensor telling me that my bottle was full when it wasn't. Invest in a couple pairs, a couple of extras of your different LV accessories. With pumping every 2 hours, you're not going to want to wash your accessories every 2 hours. So, you know, I would definitely recommend buying a couple pairs of everything just so that you're not having to wash and you reuse all the time. I think they do come with 2 sets of bottles though, but don't hold me to that. I really don't remember. If you guys want a more in-depth review of my LVs, I can definitely do that. But if you're thinking about it, get it. Trust me. Some insurance does cover like partial. I know my insurance, I went through Aeroflow breast pumps, and they, even though I had already redeemed my S2, my Spectra S2 breast pump, my insurance still gave me $100 towards the LVs. So I only ended up coming out of pocket $400. Still a lot, but like I said, definitely worth it. So next, I have some things that helped me with my flow while I was pumping. This like little breast massager thing, I kind of just did this while I was pumping. Definitely helped to stimulate milk, get the flow going, and to keep it, definitely helped as well with engorgement. Very rarely had those problems with engorgement, but when I did, this definitely helped to massage that milk out and get it flowing and get it out. Highly recommend this. Thing I got off of Amazon. Wasn't pricey at all. And secondly, I have this little La Vie massager. I would put this on my breast along with the heating pad. I forgot to grab that, but the heating pad, it definitely worked as well. The heat along with massaging, this is kind of like a vibrating massage. So massaging along with that heat definitely helped to get my milk flowing, reduce any engorgement, and just keep me flowing and stimulated. So these are, I got these both on Amazon. Definitely worth it if you are looking at them as far as something to help you with your milk flow, stimulation, and things like that. Another thing, and I actually forgot to grab it, so I'm gonna put it right above here, is the Hakka. So a lot of moms say this helps when you are breastfeeding, like a soft pump. So you attach it to your breast and you can kind of just like, it'll leak into it and it'll catch all your milk. A lot of moms say that it was a game changer to just attach that Hakka, because when you are breastfeeding and baby is on, say, one boob, the other boob is leaking. So a way to catch that milk and be able to save it was to attach the Hakka. So when I was breastfeeding, or when Lennox was latching, I would use that Hakka on the other boob to catch any milk that dripped during that time. However, another time is when I was getting in the shower. I always leak in the shower, irregardless of if I had just pumped, if I'm getting ready to pump, whatever. I always leaked in the shower, and I hated that milk going to waste. So I did use Hakkas. I ordered 2, and I would put both of my Hakkas on when I got in the shower to catch all that milk, and I was able to save it. And when I got out the shower and poured it into bottles. So Hakkas definitely needed as well. And a lot of this stuff you can get on Amazon. Thankfully, y'all, when I was probably the first week or 2 home, I was on Amazon ordering something every single day. So there's so much, like I said, so many things that you can use, so many tips and tricks to help you get that milk flowing. Breast milk storage bags. This was actually ended up being one of my favorite brands, is the Lasso. The bags were really sturdy for me. Never really had any leaks or anything like that. They were really durable and they lasted long for me. So if you are in the market for breast milk storage bags, definitely recommend these Lasso ones. But I also use the Mielle ones. So between these and Mielle, both really good storage bags. And I like these because they lay really, really flat. And when you are bricking your milk to put into storage and you don't want to maximize space, this is the brand to go with. So I think that's all I have as far as my exclusive pumping essentials, how I made it to a year. I did want to touch on the schedule that I did use when I was pumping. So like I said, when I first got home from the hospital, and probably the first, honestly, 2.5, 3 months, I was pumping at least 7 to 8 times a day, around the clock, every 2 hours. That really helped me to build my milk supply. And up until about 12 weeks is when I know my milk regulated. So I was able to drop a pump. And yes, every 2 hours means I was waking up in the middle of the night and pumping along with baby. And was my husband getting up, y'all? Was my husband getting up, y'all? Even with me not breastfeeding and him being able to feed the baby with a bottle, was my husband getting up, y'all? That's a conversation for a whole nother day. So it was really, really challenging. And so I'm going to be honest, exclusively pumping is not for the weak. You have to be very strict in your schedule. You have to be very consistent. You have to have like some type of discipline. And like I said, this was something that I knew that I wanted to do for my son. So I did what I needed to do to make sure that it got done for my son. I never really had a lot of supply issues. Like I said, because I was pumping so consistently, my milk was flowing consistently. I did eat, as far as like stuff to build your supply. In the first couple weeks, I was drinking body armors quite frequently, actually. So definitely recommend body armors. I did do the sugar-free ones to kind of like, you know, reduce the amount of sugar that I was intaking. So body armors, there was, I think they're called milk makers. There was a brand of cookies that I was eating, lactation cookies that I was eating from Target. Gonna link those below and try to put a picture if I can find one. These are really, really good. So I would get these from Target and I would eat these and they would help. Oatmeal was a big thing for me. Eating oatmeal would definitely help with my supply, and just drinking water, staying hydrated. My mom had bought me one of those big little gallons of water things that I would fill up every day and try to make sure that I drank it all day. And then just eating a healthy and balanced meal. Was it always healthy? No. But making sure that I was eating, that was a challenge for me at first, because I was like, I'm doing so much else. How can I make sure that I'm eating? But once I kind of like, you know, got a hold of mommying and, you know, getting everything done, I was able to make sure that I was eating. Because I would definitely say when I wasn't being consistent with my meals, is when I noticed that, you know, my milk was, my supply was a little off. So definitely make sure that you're eating as much as you can, as often as you can. And for me personally, I was hungry throughout my breastfeeding journey, like not at the beginning, but I was hungry all the time. So I could never really get full. So I was always eating, and that in return, I was always making milk. So, definitely stick to your schedule. Like I said, 7 to 8 times per day for about the first 2.5 to 3 months. Then I was able to drop a pump. And then I was going down to 6 times a day, 5 times a day. I think I was about maybe 5 or 6 months when I dropped my middle of the night pump. Middle of the night meaning 2 to 3 a.m. And those were probably like my most popping pumps. I was making the most milk at that time. But I was tired of getting up at that time of night. So I think my earliest might have been like a 6 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m. Pump once I dropped that middle of the night pump. But over time, you know, your body, you know, as you're making more milk, I was able to store a lot of milk, and I know that I was able to, you know, drop a pump. So I think every maybe month and a half, 2 months is when I would go down one more pump, go down one more pump. So the weaning process, I started at the beginning of August. I was probably down to about 3 pumps a day in June and July. And then August, I went down to just 2, once in the morning, once at night. And my milk had drastically dropped. My supply had drastically dropped by then. So I wasn't really making much, maybe about 3 ounces in the morning, 3 ounces in the evening. Was still feeding it to Lennox, as well as some of my freezer stash. And eventually, I just went to 1 pump a day, and then I just stopped out of nowhere. So I did leak a little bit. Not much for a couple days after, maybe about a week or so after, here and there. And then I was just good. And y'all, looking back, I'm like, how was that my life? How is my life literally revolved around pumping? But I don't regret it at all. If I have to do it for baby number 2, I will. Would I like to breastfeed? Absolutely. But if I'm back on this exclusive pumping journey, that's what it is. And at least I'm prepared and I know what to do this time. However, one really huge benefit of exclusively pumping is you can give baby, not literally anybody, but hubby can get up and do night feedings. My mom would help me with some night feedings. My grandma, you know, if I had to leave him with my mom for a few hours, I didn't have to worry about him not eating because he didn't have a bottle or he didn't have any milk, because like I said, I was staying ahead of him at least 2 or 3 bottles of milk while I was pumping. Is it a little bit inconvenient to have to pump when you're on vacation, have to pump when you're away from baby, having to store milk? I had to buy like a little cooler for my milk. I had to travel. I went to Mexico. I had to bring all this frozen milk back, and, you know, TSA had a field day with that. Absolutely. But do I regret it? No. And like I said, I will do it over and over again for any and every single one of my babies if I have to. So I hope this helped if you are thinking of going the exclusive pumping route. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. I will be sure to answer whatever I can. And if there are any specifics you guys need, like I said, that LV review or anything else, definitely let me know and I can do that as well. I want to get some more like mommy videos out there, just documenting or just discussing and sharing some of the things that I have run into in this last year, and some of the stuff that I'm about to encounter. So, and you know, hair, I can do hair videos as well. Just let me know what you want to see. This is a wash and go. I literally just did it using, As I Am leave-in conditioner and the Dew gel, Big Papa gel, which I really like. So I can do a review on that if you want me to. Just let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for clicking on this video, because like I said, I know it's been forever. Like, subscribe if you're still interested, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.